so much more space now. As you can see, I moved my desk. It used to be like this. Now it's like this. And then you can see my... I'm wearing makeup today. I'm wearing makeup today for the first time. For the first time on video, but you know. For the first time. Do I look pretty? Today, I am redesigning my OCs. Essentially, just to explain it in short terms, this is a notebook from basically 2022. Basically. 2, 3, sorry, I don't know why I went that far. Technical difficulties. In case you're wondering, I used to use my notebooks as sketchbooks back in the day, which is why I'll be starting the redraw with the notebooks instead of the sketchbooks. Redraw is something that we will be doing. So essentially, it's just... Drawings will be done digitally, and then I will be making them a little sketchbook page in like this fat chongus. I'll just be redrawing everything I've ever drawn. Essentially. Yeah. That's what I'll be doing. Oh, what the fuck are you doing? You're not part of the program. You're a notebook. You're an ugly... Pretty horsey stay on this side, and ugly bull stay on that side.
And then I proceed to not even show you what I'm redrawing today. We have... Oh my god. I can't believe I actually fixed the microphone. For context, I've been struggling to get this microphone to work and like sound half decent for the past 3 fucking months, and it finally started working. I'm overjoyed. This is who we'll be redrawing. I'm sorry, I'm still an amateur YouTuber. I don't know how to start videos. Oh well. Let's get into it! I do make these warnings throughout the video as well, but I should probably make one in the start. This character happens to be one of my most problematic characters in this story, so there is mentions of prostitution, grooming, sexual assault, and stuff like that. At the start of the video, there's just a few arachnophobia warnings, but later on when I start getting into her actual story, those things come up. So if you're triggered by those kind of things, or you're not comfortable with those kind of things, this might not be the video for you. I started off with some quick concepting, getting down what she would look like and the colour theme that I would be going for. Because even though I have an idea of what she looks like in my head, the actual drawing is always going to turn out different. The thing that you're seeing right now, it was just kind of a style experiment because I'm still learning digital art, and a consistent style is going to be basically non-existent throughout these videos, considering the fact that I'm still an amateur at art in general. You'll see a quick speed paint of me here, just kind of compiling all the things that I had made and organizing the annotations that I will be going throughout the video, but just when I get to them in the actual character sheet. Ta-da! All done. Okay, now I have to actually start with the character sheet. I started off with blocking off the form so I can get it in the page format, which is something that I've literally never done, so I don't know why I randomly started doing it now. Here I was going to do a rough sketch and then outline, but I kind of hate outlining, and I realized that I don't actually have to do it if I don't want to, so I just ended up doing like a refined sketch instead. Because I'm trying to get my digital style to look like my traditional style anyway, so I might as well give it that pencil-y look, you know? Now, her face and body do kind of look stiff in these drawings because she is basically 50% plastic at this point in the story, and because of all surgeries, she can't really move her face properly. And this is definitely not a I'm shit at drawing, so I'm going to pretend it was a plan all along so I look less shit at drawing, cry for help. Next redraw video will be going more into the details about the species present in the story, but in short, she's basically a shark/spider hybrid, so I wanted to add motives of both into her design. With an example here being her feet being like an attempt at spider paws. And with the trusty purple plus overlay and a random paintbrush I picked out to have a pathetic attempt at making it look like a painting, I went on the journey to absolutely hating this drawing. And also because she's part amphibian shark-like, I wanted to make her skin shiny to give her that I just got out the water kind of look.
Now, I was originally planning to make a character reference sheet rather than a proper character sheet, but because of how detailed the character designs are and the fact that this will be a 3D animation and she will be a 3D model, a simple reference sheet wouldn't be enough for me. And it's also considering the fact that she goes through a shit ton of outfit changes throughout the series, so it would just be easier for me as well to give her a base naked model and then add on the outfits on top of that. The hair and the makeup would otherwise be something that would be per outfit, but I did make a quick concept of what her makeup could look like because I just wanted to visualize it. And I finally gave her some sensor panties. Jesus Christ, why did it take so long? And then I got to my favorite part, the face. And that isn't sarcasm. I love drawing faces. Matter of fact, that's why the body looks so shit and I'm so bad at drawing bodies, because 90% of the time when I'm drawing or like doodling, I'm just drawing faces. So, yeah, I love faces. I love how unique you can make faces and how much things you can like mix and match when it comes to faces. Even with the coloring, I feel like it still ended up looking nice. So at least that turned out the way I wanted it to. By the way, if anyone has any digital art tips, I would love to hear them in the comments because I am very much a digital art noob right now. I've like just started like last year. So any tips for improvement would help me a lot. I redid her hair here because before it looked too much like hair and I kind of want it to be more like a fin, if you know what I mean. You also may have noticed a bit earlier, but these little horn things that she has on her head are actually part of her spider heritage, as they're basically these things. I don't really know how to explain them, so I'm just going to show a picture. She had surgery to lock them upright instead of just leaving them to hang down. So they kind of look like demon horns so that she can fit even more into the hot devil or I'm a bitch but everyone still loves me because I'm hot persona and archetype that her character is completely willingly plays into and has made it her whole personality. Oh, another reason why I decided to do a kind of nude character sheet instead of a clothed one is also because a lot of the characters, just because of the way the species work in the story, they have a lot of markings and stuff that are kind of important to who they are. They kind of have lore significance. So that's what I was doing here. I kind of wanted to give her a Black Widow kind of symbol and also just a spider-like booty in general. That's also why her hips are so homunculus. You may be wondering, that's not how proportions work. She's a spider, so it's yeah. And then we got to the background, which was the part that I was most worried about because I have no idea how to make a character sheet. I wanted to do these like white outlines around them, but I don't really know if they look good. I didn't really know what to add to the page other than the fact that I will be writing in it later, but I didn't really know what else to add to it, so I kind of just threw in the concepts that I had drawn previously. And then I proceeded to struggle to figure out how to draw proper teeth. Those teeth that I did the first time were really nice. I don't know why I did. Oh my no. One thing that I didn't manage to find time to say was that I kind of wanted to accentuate on the... I am not a character design pro or anything, but I felt like it was like a cool detail if I did the parts which she kind of seduces people with, like rounds, and then there's like all these sharp corners that kind of represent what she naturally is, which is, you know, a bad person. It's kind of non-harmonically mixed into one another. That's kind of the vibe that I'm going for. She's using these to draw people into her, but she's mostly made up of these. Just thought. I didn't really talk much about the actual character that she is. She's essentially the fashion industry. In the story, the fashion industry is kind of intertwined with the prostitution industry. So when I say fashion, I mean like pop star culture and like idols and the weekly trends of how to look pretty and stuff. Basically, she is the industry. The series does heavily rely on having mysteries and oh my god, they were the villain all along kind of twists. But when it comes to the main villains, it's kind of like, it isn't even hidden from the start. Throughout the story, her and her friend group, they're
openly compared to like the Nazis and stuff. Shh. They'll never know. There's the thing, there's a lot of parts of her that are, you know, fake. For example, her boobies. Her species doesn't have boobs. They're flat-chested, so her eyes are actually surgery. It's really pixelated. Okay. When she was young, like, her species eyes, she's kind of has eel eyes, if you know what I mean. That's kind of what her species naturally looks like. Well, they're not ugly, you know. I try, even though they're not conventionally attractive, I make sure that in the series they're not seen as ugly, because, you know, the whole point of her dilemma is that she was never ugly. She just wanted to be like one of the other species.
Of course, in universe they were seen as ugly, but in the same way that Roman noses are seen as ugly, in the sense that they're not ugly, it's just society says they are, so everyone goes along with it.
She's trying to be this other species, which are called gotas, and they are typically seen as the most attractive out of the species. I'm gonna get more into the species next video. I don't know when I'm gonna make it. I'm looking in, guys. I'm looking in. I'm starting to actually do the things that I wanted to do despite being tired, because I don't want to waste my life and then say I was tired. You know, it's not what I'm going for. Yeah, so these are her teeth. They are not real because she has shark teeth and they're technically on rows. She has 2 rows of them. I mean, not anymore, but she used to. Oh, and she has a tattoo on her forehead. Technically, she should have had like one of these markings, like the hourglass, which is the carnib marking, but carnib is the spider species, but she didn't end up getting one because she's also part shark, and, you know, the gene pool pulled out that she wouldn't get one of those and her forehead was kind of empty, so she slapped on a star.
For context, in universe it represents being chosen and being of a powerful heritage, because the 2 strongest species naturally have it as a marking, and it became a popular tattoo with aristocrats to show their personal wealth and also their loyalty to the divine species.
When I draw teeth, I normally just draw the mouth. It's kind of, I hate one of those emotes, but so drawing teeth isn't really my specialty, but I'll try. I'm trying my best. I don't even know why I'm going so much into detail in this character sheet, considering the fact that I'm gonna do another redraw. So this is essentially just the first character sheet, and every single time I have a new design idea, I'll just be adding onto this sheet. And when I finish the redraws, I'm hoping to do a little video of like me comparing this first one and maybe doing a time lapse of, well, not a time lapse, but just like a picture changing slideshow thing of the design changes she went through versus the final one. That's probably going to be in maybe the last redraw video of the specific character. I'll figure it out once I get there. For now, first redraw video. Yippee! The pearly whites. I'm really struggling with the way I color things. I don't know. I can never find a good way to color them. It either takes too long or it's too ugly. You know? I just can't find a middle ground. For now, I'm just doing it like this. Like, I'm just lassoing the overall shape and then like raw dogging it from then. And I don't really like that because here's the thing. I like things being on point, kind of accurate. So when something has to be done halfway or kind of finished but then kind of left to the side, I kind of just tweak out because I hate doing that. Like, today we were cleaning up outside the school, and I'd started cleaning and stuff. And, you know, once I start cleaning, I want to finish off the cleaning. Like, I don't want to just leave it halfway. And then the people I hang out with are hitting me with the, you're overdoing it, you know, and just, I just want to clean. Must clean. It's basically, but basically I was just that one must clean meme. But yeah, I don't like doing things halfway, but when it comes to these character sheets that I'll be doing, it's kind of better for me and for you guys, because I'll be able to be putting out videos more often. Because if I was to be doing them at the extent that I would normally do them, I would probably not get a video out. I would get like one video every 2 years or something. It's also kind of like exposure therapy for me. Also, I tried adding this like paper filter to make it look more like traditional-ish, but I don't know if it looks good. Also, she used to have a overbite when she was younger, because, you know, eels have overbites, so do skullers. Oh, I did fix the feet. I didn't show you that. They kind of just look like normal cat feet, but with weird claws. I actually like how the hair turned out, honestly. The hair looks pretty nice. I learned this from Sanders Art, like these like things where you put the colour, and then you like re-put the colour of the thing. Then we have the tongue. If I'm following the logic that, you know, her lips are naturally purple, and like purple is like the fleshy color on her skin, then technically her tongue would also be like dark purple. That started. We have tongue. That's a tongue. Super shiny. And so I can't spell. Leave me alone. I'm dysgraphic, guys. Ah, yes. The second half of this video, which is literally just made up of me yapping, moving the canvas around, and lore dumps. Enjoy. So I did do some more boxes without you guys. I'm going to go through the different parts of it. When it comes to the weight, this is something I really wanted to like explain. Each species has a different ideal weight. Because every single species has a different average height, has a different average body mass and thingamajig, I decided to just do it like this, so that this represents the, you know, the normal for her species, and these two are just like the overweight and underweight. She's on the border. She's healthy, but she's on the border of being like unhealthy. If like this is the weight index of all characters, some characters might have the weight index be here of the healthy weight. Others characters will have their weight index be here, as in like this is going to be their healthy weight. I should probably actually move this down a bit though, because also her eyebrows are also tattoos, because schools don't naturally have eyebrows. The reason why I put her as a straight ally is because she's supportive, but in the sense that keep doing what you're doing because you're making me money. Despite mainly being an idol, having an idol agency, and presenting the fashion and idol industry, she does subcategorize into the prostitution areas of stuff. Even though the person who represents prostitution is a different person, but she basically has him on a leash, so she's basically in charge of that too. These here represent the carnib species and the skilla species. This is the season 1 base model. That's where I started off with. Even though she doesn't really go through that much changes throughout the series, her main changes are like outfit based, because there's characters who like their whole hairstyle changes throughout the series. There's characters with whole gender changes throughout the series. Yeah, I haven't made up her birthday yet. I want to figure that out, because I decided that they would have astrological signs, but they wouldn't be human astrological signs. They would be like based on the mythical animals in their world. She was born in the original Genesis, which is the original city. Okay, that's a whole different part of the lore, which I'm not really gonna get into now, but she was born then. She is quite old. Yeah. Also, yeah. I don't really know what to write when it comes to alignment, because I'm using these guys from Unveil. Okay, this is it's not bad, but it's not really good either. Anyway, yeah. That's my name on Unveil. You can go check me out there if you want. That's where most of these like character design sheets are gonna go. Now I'm on to belief. I believe I can fly. What do you guys believe in? Arcanist means thinking that there's a group of people who are above everyone else, which is basically just current society. But I made the name up before I found out what the word meant, and I decided that it kind of fit with the narrative anyway, so I might as well keep it that way. Wait, I just realized. I need to write new Arcanist because old Arcanist and new Arcanist are very different. This version of the religion is much more tolerant than the old version of the religion, but it's still just as bad, don't get me wrong. Her alignment is personal because she kind of goes and does her own thing. It's kind of hard to explain, but she everything that she does it so that she can benefit, and if one of her friends ends up getting in her way, she will put them down. She's not devote to the Silver Empire, she's not devote to the revolution, she's just personal causes. And she obviously sings very well because that's her whole job. The different species used to have different languages and different texts, but after the creation of the original Genesis city, they kind of merged into. It's kind of like how Latin became the typical language that people would speak when communicating with one another, even if they were from different, you know, lands. Is the same way here that English became, or the language that they speak became the universal language that most of them speak, and they eventually kind of forgot their old languages because they no longer needed them, because they no longer lived in those kind of tribal settings. There's one country and it's New Genesis and it's on an island, and there's like bridges that go off to the mainland, and there's factories and stuff on the mainland and settlements, but other than that it's quite literally just them on the planet. I mean, technically there is other evoliums, which is, this, because all of these different species, like codas, carnibs, skillers, silvers, they're all breeds of Evolium, which is the species of, like, essentially they're just humanoids. Just imagine them as that. Technically there is another breed of their species living on the mainland, but that's a story for another time. One of the most important parts, ninthomiumn. Ninthomiumn is the power that they have on top of their hearts, like above where their heart is, near the chest. They all have these like crystal things, or essentially their cores. The color of the core depends on what species you are the most of, because she's a hybrid, but she's a carnib hybrid, as in she's mainly of the carnibian species. That's why her core is pink. The only thing she really got from her skill side is the color theme, kind of. Yeah. Cores are kind of the thing that gives them their powers. It's a naturally occurring crystal. It's just like how their species kind of function. Without it, they wouldn't be able to regenerate. They wouldn't be able to. It's quite literally just their heart, except it's more vital than the heart. If it's broken or cracked or, ripped out of the body. Well, if it's ripped out of the body, technically they're still alive, but it just sits in a jar on your desk. It's not going to regrow. If it's ripped out of the body and you don't feed it with any kind of energy, it's impossible for it to regrow. Matter of fact, even if you do give it some kind of energy, you probably have to toss it in a nuclear reactor for it to be able to regrow itself. If it's broken, there's no coming back from that. You're dead. You're gone. So even if your heart is ripped out or your brain's like smushed to pieces, technically you could still come back, which is why in the story headshots aren't that important. You get shot in the head, you're just kind of knocked out. Unless you're very low on energy reserves and you can't regrow that back, then you're technically dead. But blood worth, it's kind of a societal factor more than an actual biological factor. An easy way to explain it would be through this pyramid. So on the top of the pyramid, there's archons, which are basically just the gods, who are very much just normal people, and they just happen to be the strongest out of everyone. And the divine are basically the exact same thing, except they're just the families and the lineage of the strongest. And they really got up to that point because they would put down the members that weren't up to par, and they would do very meticulous, basically breeding with each other and other divine families. And then we have the aristocrats, who are really rich families who have been devoted to the divine. Normies, who either have very weak powers or don't have powers at all.
though they can have pretty decent powers. And they're all lower levels, but I'm not really going to get into those right now.
Ninthomiumn potential, capacity, and strain, they're kind of the metrics that decide how strong someone is. Her power is obviously going to be electricity because she's an eel. She has a low potential. Like, when I say electricity, it's kind of just like zaps and like little shocks and like taser kind of electricity. The capacity is how much ninthomiumn energy you can store, and you know, because you can have someone with a really high ninthomiumn potential, but they can only store low amounts of ninthomiumn energy, and the amounts of ninthomiumn energy that they have don't allow them to use their power to their full potential.
The ninthomiumn strain is basically the comparison between capacity and potential, and also compares other factors such as age and overall health.
Now, the poison, saliva, and breath aren't really permanent things. Like, she decides when to make her breath poisonous. She has horny poison. I forgot what it's called, so I'm just gonna call it horny poison. I know what I mean. That's more of a biological thing than an actual power.
So I'm not going to add it to the powers section.
Organization and Nero, which is essentially just the company that her idol agency. I haven't really paid attention to like this side of the world building. Just a quick note to remind me of the fact that she does bleach her skin so that it looks lighter. Because killers, they are technically dark skinned, but like it's more like this kind of color. I decided that I will make her a base outfit. First of all, because the video is too short. Second of all, because
I might as well.
you know what? Maybe I should also draw a hand now that I think about it. So I'm actually going to do that before I start off with the outfit.
I decided to draw a hand so I can draw slightly more detailed rings or bracelets or like nail art that the character might have. Some characters might also have stuff in the palms of their hand, like cat beans or something, but she doesn't, which is why I only did the top of the hand. I didn't really want to go out of my way to draw extra things, even if the character didn't actually need them. For example, in her case, she doesn't need to have a drawing of the palm of her hand, considering she doesn't have anything. So I'll just be doing the drawings based on what the character needs, rather than drawing the same things for every single character.
Now that this is all done, let's do her outfit. Hold on, let me see what I had drawn. Because originally she was kind of meant to be okay, well, that sounds crazy to say about her, but she was meant to be a nun originally.
But I did end up making a base outfit concept whilst I was sketching out the actual character sheet.
So I'm just gonna go with this.
As I quickly mentioned earlier, she has a kind of Koreabu relationship with the Kuroneku culture. And that kind of obsession to be like them and be beautiful like them bleeds into her outfits as well. She almost always has well, in our world, it's, the Asian aesthetic, because Kuroneku culture is heavily based off Japan and like the Edo period. Liking different cultures and using them as inspiration isn't wrong in my opinion, but her character kind of only goes into that aesthetic because she thinks that other people find it beautiful rather than she actually enjoying it. I also decided to give her these like pointy heels because I feel like that would be something that her character would like the look of. Of course, her toes would kind of be squished in there, as you can see from the sketch, but she would be willing to make those sacrifices. Another thing, even in the outfit, I wanted to keep the trend of the non-harmonically mixed sharps and rounds that I have in her base character design as well. The coloring kind of turned out weird at first because I hadn't done the hands on different layers. They were on the same layer as the rest of the body, and I kind of had to awkwardly color around them, and it just kind of looks kind of weird, but oh well. I'll just have to keep in mind for the next character sheet I do to do anything that's in front, that is going to be in front of the outfit on a different layer, because it was kind of a pain dealing with these hands. For this particular outfit, I decided to just add a bit like of a fringe to the base hair that I'd made. First of all, so I don't just completely waste that drawing, and also because I was low-key so lazy at that point. Now, that makeup look I had made earlier as a visualization would have come in handy right now, but I deleted it for some unbeknownst to me reason, and now I gotta do the makeup again, but yeah. I went for something simpler for the makeup look because I'm imagining that this would be one of her slightly more casual outfits, and she doesn't really go that crazy when it comes to makeup anyway. Well, she does go crazy, but in the sense that she doesn't add anything artistic to it. She just makes it look natural. She would also wear a lot of contact lenses, as despite the eye surgery, her actual eyeball and iris are still the same size. And she would probably prefer to have big, pretty gota eyes than the dead fish staring into your soul skill eyes, which is probably the way she would describe it. I actually really love the way I rendered the hair, and it's probably one of my favorite parts of this whole drawing.
Penelope, why? You know I'm too shy. I'm terrified I'll take the suffering from you. For you I would die, but can't you let me say try? Will take the suffering from you. Pink or purple? Penelope, why? You know I'm too shy. I'm terrified I'll take the suffering from you. For you I would die, but can't you let me say try? Will take the suffering from you. Why would Penelope be in the water? Get in the water. I'll raise the tidal waves so high, all of it the car will die. Get in the water. Ah, get in the water. Ah, I'll make the tidal waves so profound. Your wife and your son will drown. The lair of Scylla, that is your wide way home. The lair of Scylla. And you asked, and now you know. Now jump in the water. Penelope, why? You know I'm too shy. And terrified will take the suffering from you. For you I would die, but can't you let me say that I will take the suffering from you? The things I do for you. Balenciaga. Wait, no. Prada. But, what was it? Yeah, I don't know. Penelope, why? You know I'm too shy. And terrified.
Okay, I didn't think it goes on for that long, but it goes on for a while, so I'll just have to talk over the singing. But over here, I was kind of struggling with what to do with her boots, because otherwise they looked really plain. But the ones that I ended up doing, they kind of look like tech boots or some kind of leg protection or battle armor that the other characters would wear. And I don't really think I helped it with the highlights and the accent color, because it looks way too sci-fi and cybertech-ish.
And why the fuck would he be afraid of water? Those sirens were dumb as fuck.
Also, it becomes a bit more obvious later on in the speed paint, but I tried to add like pearl motifs to represent the aquatic side of her. Even though the aquatic species that is usually connected to pearls, she doesn't have any heritage from them, but you know. Honestly, I just kind of slapped them on to kind of bedazzle the fit more because it seemed too plain for her. I feel like she'd wear a lot more pearls and jewelry and those kind of stuff. But I didn't really do it that well, but it's not tragic, so I'm just going to keep it as it is for now.
Glitter. Oh my god, yeah. Oh wait, no, that's pretty much. Glitter? Hello. Of course we need glitter.
I wanted to give the robe part of her dress a pattern, like how kimonos have patterns, but I don't really want to draw myself, so I was looking for a brush that I could use.
Oh, wait a minute. No. Oh, that could be a constraint. Okay, wait. No, let's not go there.
Also, I feel like she would definitely be a big fan of lace, not just in her lingerie, but in general in her outfits. I personally don't get the hype of lace, but you know. This is specifically the part where I was like talking about how I added too much jewels. I ended up removing a lot of them later, but the original point still stands. For her stockinette, the original idea was something like Lisa from Genshin Impact. At least that was where the inspiration came from, because I didn't even use a reference whilst I was drawing them. That's why they turned out so odd. Now, I will be kind of honest, I did low-key half-ass this outfit because it's like exam month now and I have so many exams going on. It's like
I really wanted to get this video finished, and I don't know why I randomly decided that I also wanted to do an outfit, because considering the fact that I was already bored and half-assing the original character sheet. But I definitely didn't give this outfit my all, and I probably won't be revisiting it, but well, I won't be revisiting it anytime soon, but I will definitely be redoing it one day, because I like the overall idea of it and overall what it looks like, but there's just some details that kind of don't look right. I did really like the pattern I made for the actual dress though. I did like petals and a few roses here and there. I chose roses because like roses and like thorns, and she's pretty but she's a thorn in the ass. So that was my reasoning with the roses. But I feel like the pattern blends in too much with the base color. If I had made maybe the roses a bit more prominent, it would have looked a bit better. But otherwise, I actually like, after I did all the shading and all the lights and the pattern, I feel like it didn't turn out half bad. As I said earlier, there is a lot of stuff to improve on, but they're not things I can really improve on right now. Like, I know what I'm supposed to do, but my skill just kind of doesn't let me. And also, I've been working on this video and this drawing for over a month now, and I am getting tired. I don't want to open that file back up. I did definitely have fun drawing it and making it and everything, but I don't want it to overstay its welcome.
Standing like that! Can we know it's him? No! I'm recording.
And then I started doing her pipe, because I literally completely forgot that she was even meant to have a pipe. But I decided that I would make her pipe match with the rest of her outfits. Like, she would have like a new pipe for every outfit. I also decided to give her a little bit of nail art, which was basically just a little pearl stuck on one of her nails. When I started doing the back of her dress, I kind of decided to try out a different way of drawing her clothes by just blocking them out with colors and then outlining them later. And I kind of like this way of coloring more. And I also think this is a nice time to get into the actual story of the outfit, because this particular outfit has a little story behind it. It was actually designed by a guy called Lucifer, who I'm not going to get into right now, but it was designed by someone called Lucifer, and his original design was actually a lot more covered, but she wanted him to make her a design which was, more revealing. That's why he just kind of tried to cut up some parts, and it still didn't end up exactly how revealing she wanted it. Because in Lucifer's eyes, for example, the way that he sees it is that sexy means there being a shape, not necessarily showing skin. But to her, in her eyes, the people who she's trying to seduce aren't smart enough to understand, that side of fashion, and they just need skin, which is why she was like, cut it up a bit more. For example, where her shoulders are bare, there was originally meant to be a mesh there up to her neck, but that's just like a little detail I had made up a while ago, and I decided this would be the outfit that he would have made because of how not in her style it is. But she still kind of wears it to events where maybe she would need to have a little bit more modesty. She wears it because it's one of the most modest outfits that she even owns. So she kind of wears it in those kind of events, and also events in which the guy who designed them, Lucifer, is at, to show him that she wears it. And no, that's not cute. She is basically grooming him, and he is very much too young for her. Let's just put it like that. Just kind of imagine Homelander and that one CEO lady whose name I completely forgot. But that's kind of the relationship they have, minus the sexual stuff and the titty sucking. But unlike Homelander, Lucifer genuinely sees her as a mom and like genuinely feels like he's being loved. But like, she doesn't really realize that, and he kind of doesn't realize that what she's doing isn't really motherly behavior, Yeah. Man, why did the first redraw character that I had to do just have to be one of the most problematic ones, bro? Well, I guess it can only get less bad from here on. I also wanted to show that she's kind of a vain person, so I decided to make it known that she wears white gold, which is basically an alloy between gold and platinum, instead of silver, because she doesn't like the look of gold, she doesn't like the color, but she doesn't like the price of silver in the sense that it's a really low price and she wants to wear something expensive. So she goes with the next most expensive thing close to gold, which is white gold. Damn, sorry that the speed paint ended on such a dark note, but yeah, that's basically it with the speed paint.
That's it. That's all I have to say and do. I don't know how to end videos. She... There was a lot of ups and downs with that one. I'm not happy with how it turned out, but I'm not an artist either, so, you know, there's no point of beating myself up just because I didn't manage, you know. One day, I will draw nicely. For now, I draw like a poo-poo. I have new Pokemon cards, and I want to open them with you today. Me and my cousin were going somewhere. These aren't the fakes. The fakes are, I'm gonna show you them right now. But, like, there was a group of boys and they had, like, these fake Pokemon cards and they were just throwing them around. Like, seeing how far they can throw them kind of thing. And I literally conquered my social anxiety and I walked up to them and I was like, are those your cards? And they were like, yeah. And I was like, are you gonna do anything with them or are you just gonna throw them around? And they were like, oh, they're not real, they're fake. And I was like, really? And they were like, yeah. Because I didn't even see that they were, like, I didn't look at them. When I picked one up, I saw that they were fake. I was like, oh, okay. And they were like, can I have some then? And they were like, yeah, take all of them. I started walking around picking up the cards that they threw off the floor. And, like, I was leaving, and I was like, okay, thanks, bye. And then they were like, wait, there's a rare one here. And they passed me, like, one that was, like, right next to them on the ground. And it was, like, an Espeon. I'll show you them right now. They're pretty well made for, like, fakes. Don't get me wrong. Like, they're cute, and they look pretty good. You know, they're like, the shinies have shinies and everything. Oh, I need to clean up my desk now. The things I do for you. The things I do for you. I was looking for a dog and then I found a dog. And heaven knows I'm miserable now. I really want to show you my Pokemon cards.
So when I turned on the desk camera, the microphone kind of automatically switched to the desk camera microphone instead of my normal microphone, which is why the audio is kind of shit from here on, but I'm sorry.
Okay, I have them in a photo album because I don't have a binder. I'm broke. I'm broke. I'm broke. This one's kind of ugly. I don't like this one. The Pokemon cards are here. These are all Pokemon cards, and then everything up past this point is just random bullshit. And then these are Pokemon cards again, but they're the fake ones that I was picking up off the floor like a fucking beggar yesterday. They're not real, but they're pretty, like, they look like, if from far away, if it wasn't for the back, that's like this one right here, for example, it's a real one. You know, if it wasn't for the back and the fact that they are slightly smaller, you can't tell that they're fake from the first glance. This one's pretty cute. I have never seen this guy before, and I love him. And then this cheap thing. I fucking hate this guy. I'm sorry. He's a fucking F-16. That's a bird. I love her so much. I had a few cards of her in Pocket TCG. This one, look how fucking stupid she looks. I love her. Yeah.
And then we have this ballerina. A mammoth. A fish. Look how cool this one is. And then this is the one that when I was like leaving and they were like, wait, we have another one. And they gave me this one. And this one's really cute. I didn't know Wiglet had a water type version of himself. Pretty cool. I like it. And then we have another fish. A shumish. A monkey. A, whatever the fuck that is. A dog. A magnet. And another big guy. Anyway, now I'm gonna do it on my phone and I'm gonna add it onto the video. Jesus Christ. My phone camera is way too good. They don't have an elemental thing, so I can't really. Wait. I got a bow. He looks so jolly. He's just skipping around. Pick a fucking song. Oh my god. This one's cute. It's like a weird red panda looking thing. Yeah. Why is this one shinier than the others? He's cute. He looks like one of those, like, you know when you go in movies where, like, I'm off, like, I'm leaving this house, and they have a little rucksack. That's what he looks like. Bouts. Oh yeah, they are the evolution. Oh, he looks like a little samurai thing. Oh. I read corner and the first thing that came to my mind was like, does he stand in the corner or something? Okay. I see how it is. Yeah. He's not. He's. Well. He's also shiny. Oh, this is also the evolution of that previous guy. That's nice. I have a few evolutions. I do know how to play the game, but only because I played Pocket TGC. He's cool. He looks a bit like Naruto's teacher, if you know. Okay, that's a crazy comparison to make, but like the hair and shit. Isn't there like every single element has like a bird? I watched this one thing that Point Crow, like I think it was a mod, I don't think it was like an official thing, but like Point Crow did this like challenge where it was like I forgot what it was about. I like the card thing, like the way it's like, oh wow. That was really cool, man. It's like a cat. You know what it looks like? My doodle from Doodle World. No, this literally looks like my doodle from Doodle World, except like if my doodle evolves one more time, it's gonna look like this. He's so cool, cute, cool, but everything. He's so cute. Is that a gecko? Only the central head has a brain. Umbreon! It's Umbreon, guys! Umbreon used to be one of my favorites when I, like... the only reason why it used to be my favorite was because it was black and it had red eyes, but it still counts as, you know. I can't tell what's going on in this one, but it looks pretty dope. Oh, he's just a baby. Oh,
my god, he's so cute. He's so cute. He's so cute. Look at you. Okay. Okay, yeah, that's cute. That's cute. That's pretty cool, man.
It's like a phoenix. Oh wait, I think this is the other bird. That is fucking majestic, bro.
I like these. I like these a lot. These are all my new Pokemon cards that I'm gonna add to my collection.
I should probably do some research when it comes to like cards, cause like I don't know shit. I'm just collecting pretty pictures.
Shapes and colors, the likes of which I've never seen.
Kaleidoscope. I'm not 5.
That's the first redraw video. Yeah. I hope you liked it. I hope you enjoyed my yap session. If anyone has any like ideas for her design or any like tips on how to improve my art, then any comments would be appreciated. For the word, Jesus Christ. Next video, I'm gonna be telling you what we're gonna be doing in the next videos. Well, I have something else to do next video. I hopefully I can record it right after I finish this. But next redraw video will be essentially just designs for the base models for like every single species in the story. So I probably should have started from there, but I wanted to do it in order of the things that I drew, and Marina happened to be the first thing, and then it was the species. Yeah. Ow. But yeah, that's it for today's video. I hope you liked the character design. Even though I didn't like how it turned out at the end, I did have a lot of fun making it, and, you know, even the things that I don't like how they turn out, they are still helping me to improve. I'm actually going to spring break, and here in Bulgaria, spring break for schools is 3 whole months. So I will be making a decent amount of videos during those 3 months. But yeah, that's it for today's video. I really hope you enjoyed it. Yeah. Until we meet again.
Bye. I was looking for a job, and then I found a job. And heaven knows I'm miserable now.